Hello everyone and welcome to UK Foundations. This is the first chapter that we are going to be producing, which is about chapter 1 chemical reactions and equations. We'll be solving the Ncert exemplar questions, and let's begin without any further ado. Myself Uthara Adithi. So the first question that is visible on the screen is, which of the following is not a physical change? First of all, what is a physical change? A reaction or a change in which no new product is found and it is reversible. Important. So that is used over here. Boiling of water to give water vapor. Definitely it is reversible, right? Because, for example, you're boiling some water, right? So the water gets converted into water vapor, and if you place a plate on top of the beaker, then you can find that, or on top of the vessel, then you can find that water droplets are formed. This is basically the water vapor is condensing to form the droplets. So here, water is getting converted into water vapor, which is in turn getting converted into water. So isn't this a reversible reaction? It is, right? So that means that it is a physical change. Next, melting of ice to give water. Obviously, we can freeze water to give ice back. So it is a physical change. Dissolution of salt in water. Yes, we are aware about that. Now, combustion of LPG. Remember the fact that combustion of any substance is always a chemical change, not a physical change. So it is a chemical change and not a physical change. It's option D. Moving on. The following reaction is an example of. So with this, we can just firstly do elimination of options, right? So first, if you see second option, is it a combustion reaction? I'm sorry, combination reaction. Combination reaction is when more than one reactants combine to form a single product. A single product. But here if you observe, you'll get two different products. So it is not a combination reaction. So, right. Remove the option with 2. B. Next, is it a neutralization reaction? Of course not, right? So, neutralization reaction, one example, you can take NaOH, sodium hydroxide, plus HCl. Like an acid and a base are combining to give a salt, NaCl, and water. But acid base, it's not like that, right? So, it is not even 4. So, remove the option with 4, this and this. Third option, like that also you can do. Or what is the actual actual method? It is a displacement reaction, because here see, oxygen is taken up by nitrogen over here and you're getting NO. So displacement. And redox reaction, because nitrogen is gaining oxygen over here, so that is oxidation. And here oxygen is gaining hydrogen to form water, which is reduction. So it is 1 and 3. Moving on. Which of the following statements about the given reaction are correct? This, I think it's easy up to now, right? Iron plus 4, iron plus water gives rise to Fe3O4 plus H2. Iron metal is getting oxidized. Isn't it true? Iron is gaining oxygen over here. So the process of oxidation is taking place. So it is an oxidation reaction. Oxidized. Correct. Water is getting reduced. Is it true? What is happening? Water is losing oxygen. Losing of oxygen is reduction. So water is getting reduced. Correct. Now, is water a reducing agent or oxidizing agent? People might think that reducing agent means it undergoes reduction and oxidizing is oxidation. Nope. Reducing agent is that compound that will undergo oxidation itself. So water is getting reduced itself, so it's an oxidizing agent. Can you understand the difference? Right. So it will be 1, 2, 4. I think it's here. Right. Okay. It's not third option. So you can remember, like, reducing agent means, forgive my handwriting, reducing agent means it undergoes oxidation. It itself will undergo oxidation and it will reduce the others. It will reduce others, so it is such an agent. Okay. I hope you understand. Next, which of the following are exothermic processes? Exothermic processes is the process involving the releasing of heat energy. Heat energy is being released. So, reaction of water with quicklime, if you have studied the chapter, you will be aware about that. Dilution of an acid, it's always exothermic. Dilution is always exothermic. In the second chapter, you would have learned it, right? It's highly exothermic, that there are certain precautions and all, right? Evaporation of water. In evaporation of water, water is getting converted into water vapor. What happens is water will absorb the heat energy, it won't release. Okay, see, you can remember like this to ice. Water over here will lose the heat energy and it will form ice. Here it will gain heat energy. Okay, for this gaining heat energy, which means it will be endothermic, releasing heat energy is exothermic. Okay, they're asking this one, so it is not an exothermic reaction, it's an endothermic reaction. Sublimation of camphor. If you're aware about what sublimation is conversion of solid directly into gas. Same thing, right? It should absorb the heat energy, absorption. So that is endothermic. It's the opposite of exothermic, so it's not 3 or not 4, it's 1 and 2, which is first option. Okay, next here. Now the fifth question. Three beakers labeled as A, B, C, each containing 25 ml of water, were taken. A small amount of sodium hydroxide, anhydrous copper sulfate, and sodium chloride were added to the beakers A, B, and C respectively. It was observed that there was an increase in the temperature of the solutions contained in beakers A and B, whereas in beaker C the temperature of the solution falls. So we have to tell which is correct. If you note the point that in A and B there is an increase in the temperature while in C there is a fall. So obviously, right, A and B is exothermic and C is endothermic. So let us write that up. Right. This is correct and this is correct. 1 and 4, which is C. Understood, right? Right here. For this question, okay. A dilute ferrous sulfate solution was gradually added to the beaker containing acidified permanganate solution. The light purple color of the solution fades and finally disappears. Which of the following is correct explanation for the observation? So remember that KMnO4 is an oxidizing agent. Okay, so it's first option, and this type of reaction actually it's called as titration. We'll be learning it in the further classes. It will be called as it is called as a titration. Okay, so the color is fading away because KMnO4 is being utilized, right? The reaction is taking place, that's the meaning, and this kind of thing is called as titration. Next, which among the following is or are double displacement reaction? Double displacement reaction you're already aware of. First one, what is happening? It's a single displacement reaction, right? Lead is occupying the position of copper. Copper is being displaced. Only one is being displaced, so it's single displacement reaction. Remove the options with one. This and this. So it should be either 2, 3 or 4, obviously. Na2SO4 plus BaCl2 gives BaSO4 plus 2NaCl. It is a double displacement reaction because the position of sodium is being occupied by barium. Right here, barium sulfate, and the position of barium is occupied by sodium, NaCl. So isn't it a double displacement reaction? Right. So 2 should definitely be there, then it will be only B, right? But what about the rest of the reaction? The third one is a combination reaction. Fourth one is again single displacement. So these two are wrong. First one is wrong, second is correct. So B or 2 only. Okay. Which among the following statement is or are true? Exposure of silver chloride to sunlight for a long duration turns grey due to. So I hope you remember this. Let's take a different color. AgCl, silver chloride, decomposes to form Ag and Cl2, right? So it's not balanced. You can balance it, put a half here, or you can put 2 and 2 here. Okay, right. So what is this reaction? It's a decomposition reaction in the presence of sunlight. So the formation of silver by decomposition, right? This is silver, gray color. The sublimation or decomposition of chlorine gas or oxidation of silver chloride, nothing of these is happening. Right, oxidation, there's no talk about that. Decomposition of chlorine gas, no. Sublimation, not at all. So first, only one. Okay, right. Next, ninth. Just a minute. Okay. Solid calcium oxide reacts vigorously with water to form calcium hydroxide, accompanied by liberation of heat. Noted? Liberation of heat. This process is called slaking of lime. Calcium hydroxide dissolves in water to form its solution called lime water. Which among the following is or are true about slaking of lime and the solution formed? Now, is it exo or endo? Liberation of heat, you would have only got to know it's an exothermic reaction. Now, what is the so wait, let's write the reaction. Calcium oxide plus water gives rise to calcium hydroxide. Got it? Okay. So now calcium hydroxide, if you remember, this is, what is it? Is it an acidic or a basic hydroxide? Basic. It's actually basic. Okay, hydroxide, so basic. So if you know, pH ranges from 1 to 14. More than 7 is a basic, less than 7 is acidic. So as it is a basic as it is a basic one, the pH will be more than 7. Okay, if it is acidic, then it will be less than 7. So 2 and 3 are correct. B. Okay. Hmm. Barium chloride on treating or on reacting with ammonium sulfate forms barium sulfate and ammonium chloride. Which of the following correctly represents the type of reaction involved? So let's write it down. Okay. Barium chloride plus ammonium sulfate NH4 taken twice. So 4. I hope you can write these formulas. If you can't, drop it in the comments. We'll let you know how to do it. Barium sulfate plus NH4Cl. Mm. So what is this type of reaction? As soon as you have seen it, it is a double displacement reaction. Correct. So it's not a displacement, it's not a precipitate or not a combination reactions. You know the reasons individually as well. So it's only 4, third option. Get it? Okay. Oh, mm, right. Electrolysis of water is a decomposition reaction. The mole ratio of hydrogen and oxygen gases liberated during the electrolysis of water is. It's very easy. If you remember the activity that you had done, water decomposes to form H2 and O2. So to answer this question, you need to balance the reaction. So you should know to balance it. Okay. So put 2 here and 2 here. I think it's balanced, right? 4 hydrogen on the left hand side, 4 on right, 2 oxygens on left hand side and 2 oxygens on right. Correct. So now hydrogen and oxygen. So if you write 2H2 by O2, this is the ratio. So it'll be like 2 is to 1. B. And you remember, right, the difference in the volume levels, the height levels and all, this is the same reason. It'll be 2 is to 1. So the difference in the levels you can see. Mm. Okay. Which of the following is or are an endothermic process? What is an endothermic process? Again, it is absorption of heat energy. So which of these are involved doing so? Dilution of sulfuric acid. Again, dilution of anything is an exothermic reaction, not into consideration. And sublimation of dry ice. Again, sublimation, what is it? As I said previously itself, it's solid to gas directly. What happens is it will absorb heat energy to convert itself to gas. So it is an endothermic reaction. Correct. Condensation of water vapors. Condensation of water vapors. So basically, if you know, water vapors condense to form water. Remember, right, on the plate. So here it is cooling down. It is releasing energy. So it's exothermic, not into play. And evaporation of water. Evaporation of water is water getting converted into water vapor, the reverse. Water getting converted into water vapor. Here it will absorb heat energy because it's getting converted into water vapor. You can remember boiling of water. Like water will, you are supplying heat because it should absorb heat to get turned into water vapor. So it's an endothermic reaction. 2 and 4 is correct. D. Clear? Right. Hmm. Is it the last question? Nope. Okay. Okay. In the double displacement reaction between aqueous potassium iodide and aqueous lead nitrate, a yellowish precipitate of lead iodide is formed. While performing the activity, if lead nitrate is not available, Which of these can be used in place of lead nitrate? So, for these questions, remember that lead nitrate needs to be replaced by something else. So, make sure that this cation remains the same, lead remains the same. So, for that, you'll either have confusion between A and B. Now, the point is the reaction should take place. So, they need to abide, or they need to be soluble in each other. Insoluble means it is not soluble. So, first option is removed. It needs to be second option, lead acetate. It is, they didn't mention it's insoluble, so it is soluble. So, the reaction can take place further. Okay, right. Hmm. Okay, I hope it's easy enough. Mhm. Okay. Which of the following gases can be used for storage of fresh sample of an oil for a long time? So what was it? To prevent rancidity. To prevent rancidity, used to add some antioxidants. Antioxidants. So if you have read the paras and all clearly, you'll know it. It is helium and nitrogen. Nitrogen also inert nitrogen. You should use inert gases so that the oil inside doesn't get oxidized. Oxygen and all you can't use, right? It will get oxidized. Here carbon dioxide you can't use it. So it's helium and nitrogen. Not only because by the elimination, if you have read the lines, if you have read it clearly, then you'll get to know it's helium and nitrogen. Okay. Hmm. Mm. Right. The following reaction is used for the preparation of oxygen gas in the laboratory. So, which of the following statements is or are correct about the reaction? So, by looking at this only, you'll get to know it's a decomposition reaction. It's not a combination reaction. Nope. So, is it a photochemical decomposition, or it's just a decomposition reaction? We are yet to see. Okay. So let's see. Heat. Here heat is being supplied actually. The meaning is heat is being supplied. What if the heat is released? Then they'll mention it here. If it is mentioned like this in the product side, then it means that heat is released as a byproduct. That will be exothermic. But on the arrow or in the side of the reactants, if they mention, that means it is supplied. That means it should be an endothermic reaction. It should be an endothermic reaction. So it's a decomposition and an endothermic reaction. So correct. This is wrong, accompanied by release of heat or exothermic. Both are wrong. It's endothermic reaction. Okay. Mm. Next. Which one of the following processes involve chemical reactions? So I think this is very easy. Storage of oxygen under pressure in a gas cylinder, liquefaction of air, keeping petrol in a china dish in the open, heating copper wire in the presence of air at high temperature. By looking at this only, you'll get to know it's D, because copper wire in presence of oxygen, what is happening? It will form copper oxide, right? Hmm? Right, it will form copper oxide. So this reaction, it's going to form copper oxide. So from brown color, it's getting converted into a black form. So it is a chemical reaction being involved, combination one. Okay. Do you remember how to get this back? You have to add hydrogen. Do you remember? You'll get copper and water. Hmm. It's that only. Okay. Which one of the in which of the following chemical equations the abbreviations represent the correct states of the reactants and products involved at at reaction temperatures? Okay. So here, if you know, this is the formation of water. So this, it's direct, right? Hydrogen is a gas, oxygen is a gas, and water is a liquid. So it should be this. The rest of them are just contradicting. So right. Next. Lastly, which one of the following are combination reactions? So combination reactions is one more than one reactants, like how many ever, will combine all to give one particular product. That's it. So this reactants should be more than one, of course. One, that if only one reactant is involved, then it will be a decomposition reaction. So let's see which is a combination reaction. First one is a decomposition one, wrong. Second one is correct, because two reactants are combining to form one particular product. Third one, yes, similar to the second one. Last one, nope, it is a displacement reaction. So 2 and 3 is correct. Which option? D. Okay. Oh, we are done. The short answers and questions will be coming back in the next video. So hope you like this video. Definitely comment your doubts and any kind of queries, and if you have found the lecture very interactive, then definitely comment, and definitely spread the key of success, spread knowledge. Thank you.